We need to start with a stimulus package, with a jobs package. We have to have something bipartisan. Is that realistic to get something bipartisan right out of the gate?
Yes, I think it is, David. I think that Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell have had a long relationship over the decades. They understand each other. They both pride themselves in their ability to get deals done. So I think we can get something. I can't tell you exactly the date or the dollar sign, but I think we'll get a stimulus bill by early 2021.
Well, that's part of my question. Any prospect for the lame duck, or should we just wait? In fact, if you were Joe Biden, President-elect Joe Biden, would you press for something in a lame duck, or would you say, let me wait until I get in office?
He may press for something in a lame duck. You can't rule that out. But, the economy showed some decent signs of life on Friday. The unemployment number was a pleasant surprise. So he may wait. And there's another complicating factor. That, of course, is the runoffs in Georgia on January 5th. So maybe he would want to wait to see what the Senate will look like for the full year.
It's a very good point. We have to remember that we don't know about control of the Senate. Obviously, the Democrats would have to win both of those runoffs, I think, as a practical matter, for them to get to 50-50 and then break the tie with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. There's one other thing pending before there's any transition of government come January, and that is funding the government. Given where we are in this election right now, Greg, is that easier or harder? How does that come out?
I think there's a widespread consensus that they'll do it in a so-called omnibus spending bill. They do this most every year. They just throw everything into one big grab bag, usually in December, mid-December. But I think there's a good chance that we will avoid any talk of a government shutdown or spending crisis.
Fascinating. Okay, so what are you most going to be looking at in terms of the transition, Greg? What are the indicators to you of how this new administration will govern?
Well, I think the nominations for cabinet secretaries will be really, really interesting. I would guess by right after Thanksgiving, we'll start having names leaked out. If Joe Biden decides to move left on, let's say, Elizabeth Warren in his cabinet, that would perhaps be unnerving on Capitol Hill. If he looks at a more respected centrist like Lael Brainard, the Fed governor, I think she would be widely acceptable to both parties. So we'll get some clues fairly early as to whether this will be a centrist government or whether this will be a leftist government. I think it's the former.